What is up, YouTube and Foxbody fans? Today has come the day that we're gonna fire up our EcoBoost Mustang here. Little Project EgoBruise, our 79 Mustang with an EcoBoost from a 2015 Mustang, which could not have been possible without all of our partners that have helped us with this build, like AJE providing the modular K-member for the EcoBoost motor, and Viking coilovers. DeWitt's Radiator building me a capless custom radiator specific to modern engine swaps just for your Foxbody. Stifler's Universal cross member holding up our T5 behind our little EcoBoost. Fiddle Fart Fab providing these sweet custom black billet hood hinges along with some pretty awesome billet striker plates. And guys, it has been what, 3 years, something like that? I don't know, it's been in this position in the garage working on the engine bay for a really long time. I have spent a long time working on this car. I haven't spent all the time that it deserves, but that's okay. We're gonna fire it up today and then tear it all down so we can paint it. So you're asking yourself probably, Mike, why are you firing it up right now? Well, motivation, guys. I just want to hear it run. I want to make sure the wiring is good. I want to make sure the fuel system is good. I'm 99% certain, 95, maybe 90, 78% certain that everything's good to go. Yeah, I don't think it's going to start, man. It should have started already. Yeah. Just want to hear it run. I just want to hear it run. I want to make sure that the motor's good, make sure there's no knocking, make sure there's oil pressure, and then shut it off because there's no coolant in the car right now. And I plan to run it with no coolant just for a quick second. It's going to be fine, even though the turbo is cooled by a coolant line. Again, I just want to hear it run, okay? This is a lot of wiring. It's been a lot of work done, but there's a few things I want to make sure. One, we got to get gas in it, okay? Because it's got a new tank in it, got new lines in it. If you watch the last video, we put the whole fuel system in. So it's got the -8 sending, -6 return, back to the tank. It's all AM lines and fittings, of course. And so we're gonna check for fuel leaks. So we need to make sure we pressurize the fuel system. Ford recommends to set the pressure on the regulator at 65 PSI. So we're gonna do that and make sure that it's good to go. And then we'll pop it off and just hear it go bang, bang, bang. Hopefully, make sure the injectors work, make sure the systems work, make sure the ECM is doing its job. And then we'll shut it off. I'm nervous. I don't know why. Well, back here I'm making sure the battery is charged because it's been giving me fits. These Optimum batteries just, they really need a lot of babying. They just don't make them like they used to. I'm gonna ditch this Optima for probably just a standard battery of some sort. So I'm charging it up. It's just been giving me fits, especially since the garage is really cold right now. Make sure we got enough cranking power, because if you're watching the last video, whenever we do the fuel system, we were testing to make sure the fuel pump was coming on with the key on. And as soon as I tried to crank it, well, it didn't come on with the key on, okay? First off, the manual says that the fuel pump runs all the time with the key on. It does not in my case. It does run when you crank it, so we may have to jump the fuel system from the jumper box so I can run the fuel pump constantly without cranking or something like that, to make sure that we're getting 65. We can set the fuel pressure on the regulator to make sure it's getting 60 PSI, and make sure that everything is fed with fuel, including the high pressure pump for the GDT here. So yeah, we'll do that. And what else? We're gonna make sure it's got oil in it, of course. I know it does, but we're gonna double check anyways. I did an oil change on it when we first got the car, or first got the motor. So it's got fresh oil in it. So that's good. And it does have a filter on it, but I need to visually, put my eyes down there and make sure that the filter is screwed on. Real basic stuff like that. Like, you don't want to lose oil pressure, okay? It does not have a belt on for the AC or for the water pump. So it's not, it's okay. We're not running water in now anyways. This system is empty. I don't want to get carried away, guys. Look, I know it needs coolant. I'm not going to put coolant in it though, because we're going to tear it all down and drain it. I really didn't want to put gas in it because I'm going to have to, pull the fuel lines to get the underside of the car painted anyways, but that's okay. I want to hear it pop off. And that's it. We're just doing this for fun. Now, it doesn't have any exhaust. Well, that's not true. That's a lie, Mike. This is a downpipe from a 2015 Mustang. I bought it online for basically free. Okay, I think it was like, I don't know, 25 bucks. I've got a hole that needs to be capped for the second O2 sensor. But the first O2 sensor, I didn't go ahead and plug in and plug it into the harness. So the O2 sensor is plugged in. Everything else is tied up, you know, pretty much tidied up and ready to go. I don't think there's any sensors not plugged in. Everything that is supposed to be plugged in is plugged in. Whenever I turn the key on, you can hear the relay cycle and the fuel injectors click. You can also hear the throttle body opening and closing when I give it gas. So I know that that's hooked up and working. So yeah, but it has that, and it pretty much ends right there, guys. That's it. See, so we just have the downpipe, so it's going to be loud and open. It's going to sound like a loud 4-banger. Pop, 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 pop. You know, 4-banger sounds. Okay. So I'm gonna run to the gas station and fill up a 5-gallon tank of gas to put at least 5 gallons in it. Want to make sure that we fill enough gas in it to pick up the pickup filter and all that crap. We want to make sure the fuel pump is enough gas to pick up and not cavitate. I don't want to start that pump up dry, since it's a nice pump, okay? It's my Airmotive 340 LPH. Yeah, it's a nice pump. Got the gasoline. You know what, I'm getting ahead of myself. Hey, before we get started, I just want to say thanks for being here, okay? If it's your first time to the channel, welcome to the channel, okay? If you're a regular and you've been here for since day one, I want to thank you for that also. If you want to see this build, and this is your first time here, you know, there's days of content, you know. If you know me and you know my channel, you know I like to go into way too much detail on everything I do, and it is what it is, dude. You come in here, you can watch this being built from every nut and bolt, pretty much, okay? Yeah, it's detailed, okay? You've got days of stuff, but you can watch the playlist if you go to houseofdoula.com. If you go to houseofdoula.com, it's got everything from the 86 turbo car over here. My Torino's got a Rooster on there, and it's got this car. So you can check that out, and you can check out the playlist and watch this from day one, from Trailer at Home to the unveiling, to the great wheel reveal, to this video, which is going to be the fire video. So check it out. Well, the battery is making noises. Can't be good. Probably not good. Really cooking that battery. Hey, let's check the oil, guys. Let's just make sure, you know, make sure she got oil. Make sure she got the oil. It's dirty. I don't think I changed it. I think I was lying to you guys or something here. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, she's got the oil. And it's full, so shouldn't have to worry about that. Yeah. It smells a little stanky though. Let's go 12 volts, 12.5 volts. All right, should be enough to crank it. Biggest funnel ever. Drip all over the floor in the garage too. Or brake clean. All right. A little chilly, man, huh?
Man, you need some of those LED lights in here too.
Well, they get brighter once it's not so cold in here. But yes, I do. Those are pretty weak sauce, dude. Yeah, I mean, that's LED. I put an LED light over the bench and it's awesome. But say hi, Sean.
What's up, man? I'm ready for this.
You ready for this?
It's been a long time.
It has been a long time. It's a lot of work, man.
It is a lot of work.
So I'm gonna fire it up. I'm gonna tell you here, because I just told everybody else here, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm firing it up without any coolant in it. Just running for a couple seconds. Now the turbo is cooled with coolant, but I still think it'll be okay. Just for, you know, I'm literally talking about 3-4 seconds, check some oil pressure, make sure it fires off, make sure we don't have any leaks on the fuel, and then kind of call it a day.
Fuel pressure regulator looks good here.
Yeah, you like it there? The lines are...
Yeah, clamps look good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, there's not even a belt on anyways. Even if I did have coolant on it, there's no belts to run the water pump. So, and it's so cold in here. We got at least 10 minutes of run time. No. But I got some 93 octane, you know.
Hell yeah.
Just don't want to put the low crap in it.
Oh, I haven't seen the hinges yet.
Oh, you like those? Fiddle Fart. Shout out to Fiddle Fart. That's right.
They look good.
Yeah, check these out too, man. He's got the Yeah, the strikers.
Good looking stuff.
It's pretty fancy. He's got some badass hinges now for the trunks that he's integrating shocks with, and I think he's got some hood hinges that also.
That would be nice.
Be pretty kick-ass.
These are very clean.
Yeah, they are clean. They look pretty. They look very pretty.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean it matches the engine bay perfectly, doesn't it? The black and the. I love the. He's got the flush mount.
Yeah.
Hex wire or hex bolts there. It's pretty neat. Allen bolts, I guess. I called for tech. I turned the key on. Didn't hear the fuel pump running. Actually, I didn't have the fuel pump hooked up, but I put a multimeter on it. Turned on the key, and I wanted to see if I got 12 volts of the pump because the manual says it runs all the time with the key on, and it didn't. So I called him, and the guy never ever answered my question. I'm like, I just want to know yes or no. Is it supposed to run with the key on? He's like, well, these are not like a normal fuel system. These are GDTs, and they're direct injected, and it has a regular. I'm like, okay. I'm like, so it sounds like I did not do anything wrong because I did test it cranking, and it puts 12 volts to the pump when I'm cranking. But I found the relay. We could jump it, which is what I plan on doing. Let's just jump it real quick after I get fuel in it so we can set the pressure to 65. So let's keep the garage closed on purpose and see how much fumes we can fill up our lungs in 10 minutes. All right, I hate doing this, man, because I don't got to tear it all back out. And it's just, I'm feeling fuel lines and stuff that are like literally, as soon as I'm done with this,
take it apart. Yeah.
We're gonna put the four lug wheels back on it in the back, and whenever your shop lift is free, take it up there and let's strip it out and paint the bottom of this car. It's just thirsty. God, it sounds so empty.
I thought it was going to the ground.
It sounds like it's pouring on the ground, but it's not. Okay. It's just metal. All right. Listen to that. It sounds like it's splashing all over the ground.
But it's not. Everything's good on the ground.
That should be enough. That's about half of this. Yep. Okay, I guess we could take a second and put a cap on. Why not? Yeah, let's check the gas gauge real quick too. Make sure it goes up because it was empty. Should be at least. No, it's still empty.
We didn't put a lot in there.
We did not put a lot in there.
Just got to do it. Might as well be you, right?
This is my high tech. That's right. That's right, man. My high tech jumper. You like that?
Key on?
No. I think it needs to be.
Something's clicking back there.
I heard it click. Yeah. I don't hear the fuel pump running. Did I not plug it back in from the last video? I don't know if I did.
Oh, underneath the car?
Yeah, I unplugged it on purpose so that whenever I was testing the voltage, it wouldn't run the pump. Be right back. Let me check that. All right. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I forgot to plug the fuel. We had to drop the tank enough to plug the pigtail back in because I unplugged. So, you ready? Fuel pressure in 3, 2, 1.
All right.
That's pump. I hear it moving. Oh, we got pressure. 20 psi.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Nope.
We got a leak.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we got 60 psi. Here's a rag.
It's driven right through the hole.
Is it?
The hole right there.
I put that hole on purpose, just in case that leaked.
Right here on the back side of this hole.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? This thing might just leak right here.
Bad fitting,
It was crunched down. It could just be a bad fitting. It sure seems like it's coming out of the fitting though. Like it's right here. See it?
Well, if you're sitting at 60 psi and it's dripping like that, I see we leave the rag where it's at.
It is circulating fuel though, and it's exactly 60. So this thing's supposed to be 65.
Okay.
We can bump it.
You want to go ahead and set that while we're here?
Yeah, I was just saying, let's just go ahead and do it. That way when it comes time to fire up,
Yeah, it's one of those things that's what
we don't have to mess with it. All right, go ahead and run it.
Keep on going. Keep on going right about there.
65?
A little bit more.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Hold on. It's right there at 65. You're good. It's a little bit past.
Oh, that next dot is 70, isn't it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
So that's in between 70 and 60.
We're good.
Which would be 65. All right. All right, I'm gonna take the pigtail out here, put the relay back in. Yeah, I see it slowly leaks, man. It's dropped down to 45, so it's definitely gotta address that leak, man. Okay, so that's back in.
Oh, well, you decided to join us today there, son.
I'm not your son.
No. You ready?
Ready.
All right.
Okay, now if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's no big deal. I'm just gonna check oil pressure real quick as soon as it fires up and shut it off, if it even runs. God, are you ready? I'm excited but nervous. Oh my God. All right, here we go. This is dropping voltage quick. The battery's shot. What's the PSI on it?
It's running at 65. Yeah. Hit it again?
It should have fired already.
Hit it again just to make sure.
Yeah. It has no oil pressure either, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna start, man. It should have started already.
Yeah.
All right.
Shutting off.
Well, we'll be back. Need some air in here, don't we? All right, yeah. So we think maybe it's losing voltage. When I'm cranking, that battery's so shot, when I'm cranking it, it drops quickly to 9 volts, which is probably not enough to kick on the ECM. So I'm guessing maybe that we're cranking it, and while we're cranking it, it's churning off the ECM, so it's not firing. We're definitely getting fuel to the high pressure pump. We tested that. It's got plenty of pressure in it. Whenever I started cranking it, the fuel pressure goes back up to 65. So that means it is going back up to 65. So we're just gonna put a charger on it and start boiling the battery some more and see what happens. 12.9 volts, 13 volts. It dropped to 9 again. I still think it would have fired.
Yeah.
Yeah!
That sounds cool.
Turbo sounds! Dude! It was running like shit, but it was running.
Yeah.
What do I stumble like that? Probably old crappy fuel in the injectors, I bet.
Good job. It sounded nice.
Dude! It just needed more power. Yeah, open the garage now. Do you hear the turbo?
Back at it.
All right, I didn't check oil pressure, so we're gonna do this again here.
Hopefully it starts.
It will.
No oil pressure.
That's bad.
Ooh, it's cold out here.
It's cold. It's got oil in it. I just wonder if it's empty.
It's low.
It's low, yep. All right, I just checked the oil again, and I put whatever was left in that, which is only about this much, but I filled it up and it's registering back on the stick, so I think honestly it was just low. It was probably just filling up the turbo and everything else but definitely not out of fluid, and it should be showing some oil pressure. So my guess maybe is something is up with the digital readout here for Dakota Digital. So I got the BIM module and it reads off the O2B2 port that's plugged in down here. And that's why there's a delay whenever I fire it up in RPMs and everything. It takes a second for everything to start reading. But the oil pressure was not reading, and it is a little scary.
A little mixture
of Royal Purple and Mobile 1 and 520 and 1030.
This is an 020 car?
Yeah.
Barely had any in the house.
It's an 020 car.
It's 520.
Actually, I don't even know. No, it's 530.
Oh, okay. You know what's funny? I probably had oil. My son just
used it all?
made it disappear.
Sure.
I would not doubt it.
It sounds cool as shit.
Yeah.
No, I mean oil pressure though. At least according to the gauges.
You got oil pressure out?
Huh?
You got oil pressure? None at all?
None. It's so, well, that gauge reads off the computer. My guess is the gauge isn't working.
Yeah.
Because it reads it off the thing. There's almost no way it doesn't have oil pressure, man.
Would the computer let it run without oil pressure? Is there a safety catch on it?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah! All right, I'm gonna see if I can find oil pressure in here. Okay. We're gonna call it good though for now. We heard it run. I'm gonna do some research on this. We'll get back to you guys. All right, guys, hey, that is a freaking success because it popped off, it made turbo noises, and it got me oh so motivated to get this car done. Oh my God. But hey, the real reason why I did that is really to find issues. Now, when we found a couple things, nothing show stopping, but that's kind of why I wanted to test fire it up real quick. Okay, listen, man, let's just make sure the block is good. Let's make sure it's not knocking. Let's make sure that, you know, we don't have dead injectors or something really major wrong with the motor that would, you know, lead me down a completely different path than the path of doing body and paint and getting this thing pretty looking. So that's what we did. I came across a couple of problems, nothing major, nothing show stopping, but we got a fuel leak here. I can't seem to stop no matter how hard I tighten this down. It could just be a bad fitting. So that is what it is. I may just have to nut up and buy like a Russell fitting or vibrant or something like that and replace this fitting with that one. So there's that. And also we got a couple of check engine lights I need to kind of look into. We're going to check that out in a second, but first and foremost, I didn't have any oil pressure. However, it's not because I don't have oil pressure in the motor. I think there's something going on with the sensor wire. Maybe it's not plugged in. We're going to check that in a second, or something with the ECU, or something else with the Dakota Digital is just not programmed correctly for the oil pressure, because you have to tell the computer, the Dakota Digital computer, what PID or BIM, what do they call it, what PID you have inside your ECU that you want to use for said pressure. So I think it's just not reporting that because of that reason. However, I want to check a couple things. So I went over to houseofdually.com. Guys, I don't only just have videos and Instagram feeds and all the media here that you see here on the website. I also have tech documents. Everything I'm doing on this car, I'm taking time to go back into the office and diagram it. So I've got electrical diagrams for it. I got the AC routing diagrams. I had the Ford control back manuals. I had the Dakota Digital install manuals. Anything that's going to help me later on in life troubleshoot any kind of issues with this car. I'm basically making a owner's manual essentially for it, and I'm putting it all online on House of Dually. If you go to House of Dually, go to Tech Documents. But I went over there and up at the top, clicked on Tech Documents and Downloads, and I was able to pull up the stock 2015 Mustang wire diagram and see that there is an oil pressure sending unit, where it is and where the plug is. So it is down here, right behind and right next to the oil filter. So I'm going to crawl down here, just check and make sure that does plugged in. This is where the pressure sensor would go into normally. I had to create this T here. I had planned on using a manual gauge or manual plug. I was going to screw in here into the factory 79 gauge. This was before I decided to go to Dakota Digital. But this is the plug. Okay, the switch looks fine on the oil pressure switch. I want to go into the setup here and just take a look at the BIMs for the oil pressure and stuff. Welcome back, it's the next evening. So regarding the oil pressure gauge not reading, I did a little research on it last night, and it turns out I'm not the only one with this issue. With the BCM module for the Dakota Digital gauges, with the oil temp not reading correctly off the engine's computer, the ECM or ECU. Holly Terminator X guys have had this issue, and some other folks have had this issue with different control packs as well. With everything is being automatically detected except for the oil pressure is not. So I'm not gonna sweat it. I really think the oil pressure is fine in the motor. I just can't imagine there'd be no oil pressure in it. You'd have to have a pretty catastrophic issue with the engine if it had no oil pressure, but I'm gonna call Dakota Digital on Monday. It's closed, it's the weekend, but I'll call them on Monday and kind of get their take on it. There may be some other steps they can have me try to pick it up. So we really have 4 issues that we have come up with just with this test over this weekend. The first one being the battery needs to be replaced. Okay, I got to replace the battery. Working on that. I'm gonna go pick one up tomorrow. The second one is this little fuel leak here. The fuel leak, it looks to me, I had removed this fitting and I took a look inside and kind of peeked in there. And it looks like there's a kind of a nick in it that's probably causing fuel to leak past it. So it's probably just a machining error or issue with the fitting itself, and unfortunately I think we're gonna have to replace the fitting, and what I will do is replace it with an Earl's fitting so that it matches the adapter, the O-ring adapter that it's, you know, being screwed on to. Okay, that way it's the same brand and it should just mesh just fine. Otherwise, I'm really impressed. There's no fuel leaks in any other fittings anywhere else, so that's really good. That's the second issue. The third issue is we do have some check engine lights. We're going to check that out here in a minute and make sure that we have all the codes right. Is that 3? Hang on a second. What am I doing here? Oil pressure, battery, fuel leak. Yeah, we're good. That's 4. I don't know. I can't count. I guess I can't count. Yeah, 4 issues. Battery, okay, fuel leak on this one fitting, oil pressure gauge not being picked up from Dakota Digital's BCM module, and lastly, I've got some check engine codes that we're going to check out and do some research on right now. All right, so I've got the gauge cluster kind of pulled apart because I was taking a look just to make sure everything was plugged in correctly and everything was good. One thing's really cool about this Dakota series here, the Arctic series, is that it automatically picks up the check engine light. So I don't have to wire that in because it's reading off the OBD2 port. It knows the light is on, so therefore it checks it. Now I wish, and there might be a way to do this, but as far as I know there's not, I wish I could actually run the codes from the screen and it would tell me here what codes are being tripped. That would be really slick, Dakota Digital, hint hint. But I'm gonna go ahead and unplug it. This will kill the gauges because that's how it's getting all its information. And then I'm gonna plug in just your cheapo scanner here. We're gonna get our codes read. Okay, so we've got scanner plugged into our OBD2 port, and okay, it's found one code. It is on. So let's read the code. Stored code is crankcase pressure sensor circuit high. Now let's see if there's any pending codes here. There is turbocharger, supercharger, boost sensor, A circuits, range, and performance. Okay. Let me make note of these guys, and we'll get back to you. Okay, doing a little bit of research on the codes. I'm not gonna get too in depth with it right now because this is not what this video is about. We can do this in the next video. But the P051D, the crankcase pressure sensor circuit high. Listen, the manual told me to disconnect the PVC valve, which is right here on top of the engine. It's disconnected. This very well could be just simply looking for it. However, this evap hose goes to nowhere. And in fact, as far as I know, that doesn't even need it. So I don't think this is it, but we're gonna try it anyways. I'll plug it back in and see if that goes away after I clear the codes. The second issue is the turbocharger, supercharger, boost sensor, circuits, range, performance. So this thing has a map sensor, and it's actually got 2 map sensors. It's got one on the intake after the turbo pipe, the pressure charge pipe down here going into the intake, and it's also got one right here on the side of the manifold. And I guess if they don't read the same, then you can have an issue or possibly have an issue. Now this could also be a vacuum leak somewhere. So again, I'm just not worried about it right now. This is the kind of troubleshooting that I'll get into, or we'll get into, whenever the car is built and everything is tidied up and everything is tight and everything, because right now everything is just pretty well loosely fitted. I mean, the engine's bolted in, but it's pretty well loosely fitted in. So Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it. As far as I know, it's running and I'm happy, okay? Let's close it out. All right, before we close it up, I'm gonna give you one more chance to hear the 4-banger turbo sounds on the car. Probably be the last time I'll fire it before I start tearing things down, so let's just do it together, okay? But this time, I decided to leave the microphone on the camera so that you don't get blasted by the sound that you were hearing earlier with me inside the car. Well, all right, boys and girls, I think that'll do it for this video. I don't want this to run too long, and I'm notorious for making long videos, okay? YouTube analytics says that's a bad thing. So we're gonna close it out here. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, okay? Go to howtodealer.com, get everything there. We already talked about that. Go there, get everything. Subscribe if you want, okay? It's the whole bit. Everyone's gotta say this stuff, subscribe. That's it though. We'll see you next time on the next video. We're gonna go over some of the things I found and hopefully resolved, but you'll have to wait till the next video to see if we're able to resolve everything and what is gonna happen next, okay? Hey, don't forget, man, okay? Wrench on your Foxes. It's winter time. It's a good time to turn the heat on, okay? Get out there. Go get this Fox on the road, okay? Do as I say, not as I do. All right, man, we'll talk to you guys next time on House Duel. Take care. Goodbye.